We all have a favorite hat, but this week's video asks the question, are you willing to fight for it? The setting is 1922 in New York City. At issue is the social conventions surrounding men's hats. Men's fashion at the time dictated that men wore hats pretty much any time they were outside. But the fashion rules in 1922 dictated that certain hats were only worn at certain times of the year. In summer, men in 1922 overwhelmingly favored the straw boater hat, straw being cooler than felt. However, men were expected to switch to felt hats, like fedoras, on September 15th. Also acceptable were silk top hats.
One day, while he was waiting for the trolley, he had a hat.
My high silk hat.
Starting on September 13th, 1922, 2 days before the supposed required hat switch day, teenage boys in New York City began pulling the straw hats off men's heads and stomping them. Eventually, some men began fighting back, leading to a large riot that had to be quelled by police.
And here we go, a sea of bodies!
Over the next several days, more riots broke out, triggered by the boys affixing nails to boards to better snatch the heads off their victims' heads before stomping them.
This is ugly. Very ugly.
The causes of this insanity are a little hard for us to fathom. The New York Post wrote on September 16, 1922, quote, "Boys who are guided by the calendar rather than the weather, and most of all their own trouble-making proclivities, indulged in a straw hat smashing orgy throughout the city last night. A dozen or more were arrested, and 7 were spanked ignominiously by their parents in the East 104 Street Police Station by order of the lieutenant at the desk." Helen Rowland, writing for the Brooklyn Eagle on September 5th of 1922, offered this bit of cultural insight. The average man's devotion to his hat is one of life's greatest mysteries. It seems to be something sacred in his life, which he cherishes and protects as passionately as he does his dignity, his honor, and his grandmother's memory. He will fight for it, quarrel over it, and risk his life under a motor truck or a trolley car to salvage its remains. In a wind, when a boy wants to start a fight, all he does is snatch another boy's hat, and the battle is on.
And nobody is happy now as in came Gandhi with a late poke, and look out.
When the 1922 straw hat riot is considered with the 1970 hard hat riot, it leaves us today asking the question, do people in New York City have nothing better to do than fight over hats?